on. Today we will be teaching you how to do question 17 in every steps. So I'll let Punna start.
Okay, so let's start with question 17a. Using the graph paper, draw on the same diagram the graph of two equations. First, y equal 2 minus absolute x minus 2, and the second equation y equal 1/2 x plus 2 with the domain x x greater than or equal to -1 and x less than or equal to 5. So let's do the table. We need to plug in the x, all of the domain, into the first and the second equation to sketch the graph. So the first one, if we plug in -1 into the equation 1, we will get -1 for y, and for 0 we will get
0. For 1 we get 1, and for 2 we also get 2. But because of its absolute, for 3 we will get y at 1, and 4 we will get y at 0, and 5 we will get it right to -1.
And for the second equation, if we plug in -1 into the second equation, we will get y at 1.5. With x equal to 0, we will get
2, and with 1 we will get 2.5. With 2 we will get 3. With 3 we will get 3.5. With 4 we will get 4, and with 5 we will get 4.5.
And if we sketch it on the graph paper, you get the graph like this. Next, in the question 17a, it also asking how many pairs of value x and y satisfy both equations. As you can see in the graph, there is no intersection of two graphs, which means there is non-pair of values x and y that satisfy both equations. So the answer will be no.
So let's move on to the next question, question B, part 1. And it asks us to find the inverse function of h. And we could solve it many ways. The first way we do it by graphing, or we can also do it by solving the equation itself. And the first step of that is to flip the x and the y, which you will get x equals to 2y plus 2 for her, y plus 2. And then you can swap this up right there. Then you can move all the y right here and all the rest right to the right side. And then you need to take all the y out so that it could be alone on the outside.
His name is Punna.
And there you go, that's your inverse function of h. Next, let's move on to the second part of this question, which is part B here. So it asks us to state the domain of the inverse function of h. And if we look back to the original instruction, it already states the domain of the function h. What that means is that when you sub this into the function h, you will get a y value, which is the domain of the inverse function. This is because according to the videos, you can remember that the value x, y on the function h is equal to the value yx of the function h inverse. So what we can do is that we can sub in this whole chunk into the into the inverse function by summing this as a y value. It will go something like this.
Useless one. You couldn't do what they were doing. Really? Yeah, really.
So as you can see that the first value or the bottom value of the domain X is 0, and if you substitute the value 3 inside, you can see that the upper or the top value of X of this domain is 8/5, which we will get in the end the range of 0. And that is the answer to part 2 of question B. So the last part of this question asks you to draw a graph on the same graph period that you have drawn before. So here will be how the graph looks like when you combine the graph of the function h and the function h minus 1. And that's all I have for today for question 17. Thank you very much.